Welcome to another Battleborn character preview, and today we have our first of the rogues, Orendi. Rogues are an interesting breed in Battleborn, at least by Orendi, the only one we've seen so far. But they're kind of they don't belong to anyone, kind of free roaming, wild characters, and I'm quite excited to see what the other ones look like. But that's neither here nor there. Today is about Orendi. Orendi's bio reads: feared even by the members of her own faction, unhinged and unpredictable, Orendi channels powerful, mage-like energies, striving to test herself against the universe's greatest foes. She has more than earned the title Chaos Witch. So the whole ideal of her four hands, her Chaos Witch magic she throws out, almost these like disc-like magic spells, and the animations are actually brilliant. Ashley Birch voices her, who also did Tiny Tina, so you Tiny Tina fans, you might enjoy that. She kind of does the same voice for her as well, so it's kind of a cool little callback. She is somewhat squishy, but she is very powerful, very fast, and she has, I guess, a quick health and shield regen, so you can mix it in the front lines with her. You just have to be smart on how you play it. But she's got a lot of combos, and we're going to get into that. So, first ability, Chaos Bolts here. Orendi's primary attack is a rapid fire volley of Chaos Bolts. Her secondary slower attack fires 4 bolts at once. So you can go for one big hit or kind of more of a DPS throw. The animations are, once again, just absolutely brilliant with them. And they do pretty good damage. Next, her kind of survival stat description here. Orendi's abilities can be augmented to increase damage and status effects or drastically reduce cooldown timers. And you'll see a lot of that in gameplay of her. I'm going to link a video to this that I watched, a full playthrough of just her that was really good of showing and explaining her. Next you have Nullify. First of her abilities. Orendi unleashes a burst of energy, dealing 75 to 147 damage and propelling her backwards from the blast. So you kind of, hit, give yourself some space, throw more Chaos Bolts. Shadowfire Pillar. This thing has all these kind of rings that spurt out and do a bunch of damage. It's awesome looking, once again. Shadowfire Pillar. After 1.5 seconds, Orendi summons a mighty pillar of shadow and flame at a target location, dealing 208 to 280 damage. Which, what you've seen from the numbers so far, is pretty solid. Then she's got Paradigm Shift. Orendi conjures an intense blast of energy directly in front of her, dealing 525 to 750 damage to enemies caught in the blast, which is quite a bit of damage. And it's got a decent range on it as well. You can hit a few enemies with that. And then her passive skill, Gnosis, activating Nullify lowers the cooldown of Shadow Pillar by 8 seconds. So you already have cooldown naturally with her without going into her other skills, which is the first we've seen from a character. And it's fitting for a spellslinger like her. A very interesting mage character. So going down to the Helix tree, you have Fire Walk With Me. Nullify's propulsive burst produces a trail of fire on the ground, 150 damage over 5 seconds. Once again, not bad. That really turns Nullify into doing quite a bit of damage there. Burned and Busted. Shadow Pillar reveals all stealth enemies in the area. That depends on how many stealth enemies are going to be around, but Fire Walk With Me sounds pretty great. Dismissed. Adds a knockback effect to Nullify, so now you bounce back and you push them back, giving you even more space. And while they're getting knocked back, you can still hit them. I Hate Your Pretty Eyes. Adds a bleed effect, or blind effect, to Nullify, making enemies easier to hit once again. Let's Bounce. Nullify now moves Orendi in the direction she is moving. So you can. That one might take some getting used to, but it looks like it's got a lot of potential for movement augments, especially with her already good speed. Oh, that reminds me, Orendi immediately begins recharging shields after using Nullify. I might like this one a little bit better, because she doesn't have the most health. The more you can recharge her shields, the faster, the better. Preamble of Pain. Shadowfire Pillar deals damage over time to nearby enemies before detonation. Plus 90 damage over 1.5 seconds. So they start taking damage before they even get hit by it. And it already does decent damage. You add another 90 damage to that, it's quite a bit. Power Pillar. For 5 seconds after using Shadowfire Pillar, Orendi may cast a second Shadowfire Pillar doing half as much damage, which does probably a little bit more damage, being able to cast 2 of those, especially because it's got a big effect. So both of those sound pretty sweet. And I saw the double Power Pillar in action, and it was absolutely wrecking enemies. Prognostician. Using Nullify now reduces the cooldown of Shadowfire Pillar even more, minus 12 cooldown seconds. So now you're really casting it quite often. Or you can go activating Shadowfire Pillar, reduces Nullify. So either way you do that, I think I like the left option better here. But it depends what Nullify's cooldown is. But either way, the combo of all these cooldowns is great just for getting your spells out more often. Nihilism increases Nullify's base damage 15%, or Shadowfire Pillars 15%. So like on here, if you're going with Shadowfire Pillar, you definitely want to put the damage there. It probably depends on which one you're picking here. Force of Will increases the damage of all skills plus 15%. That's great. Or Essence Theft, all skills heal Orendi for the 20% of the damage they do. That sounds a little better because she's already got a good damage output, but she's kind of squishy. And we've already had mostly DPS skills through here, so I like that lifesteal there. If you just do that lifesteal, and then there's one where you just get your shield back. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, an Essence Theft should let you really stay in the front lines with her pretty well. Rapid Deterioration decreases Nullify's cooldown time 20%. Now you're really using Nullify a lot. Nullified damage penetrates enemy shields plus 60% shield penetration. That's also pretty awesome depending on how many enemies have shields, but man, with that cooldown and Nullify cooling down Shadowfire Pillar, I don't know, that sounds pretty sweet. Shadowfire Storm decreases Shadowfire Pillar's cooldown time 20% cooldown reduction, or the same thing. Shadowfire Pillar penetrates enemy shields 60%. So it's kind of the same choice there. I think I would just go with both cooldowns and just have my skills just active constantly to use. And then your final here, Thought Rejection adds a knockback effect to Paradigm Shift, or activating Paradigm Shift instantly resets Shadowfire's Pillar's cooldown. I kind of like Reign of Chaos there. Again, more cooldown, I know. It's just maybe it's going to be too much cooldown and diminishing returns. Who knows? But I've seen some of that where you do the Paradigm Shift and follow with the Shadowfire Pillar, and even more so if you have the 2 Shadowfire Pillars, wherever that was. Yeah. It just absolutely wrecks anything in your path. When you do both of those together, it puts out so much damage. So I kind of like that combination the best there. But yeah, she looks like a lot of fun. One thing I liked about playing Maya in Borderlands 2 was just her really fast cooldown. How you're just constantly using phase lock, and you can get that cooldown so fast. And you really kind of work around that, and a lot of zeros, with deception, it's kind of like that too. That short, quick cooldown compared to like Axton's turret, which you kind of throw it out. It's a major investment. You got to really think about when and where and how you're throwing it out. Where like phase lock, well, I can phase lock this enemy, it'll be cooldown for that next enemy, and her massive amount of cooldown, just being able to use her skills constantly, sounds like a lot of fun. Just a lot of Nullify and Pillar, and that really increases her damage output. So she looks cool. Ashley Birch is awesome, so the voice acting is cool. The cooldown is cool. Yeah, I really like the kind of character she is, and I can't wait to get my hands on her. And I can't wait to see the other rogues, because if any of them are as interesting as her, that sounds really good for the game. So that is it for Orendi. And if you guys have not subscribed yet, please do that. Leave some comments below what you think about her and think about the game. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you later. Bye.